Hey guys, Shane here. Before we get started today, I want to ask you a quick favor. Please hit that subscribe button and give this podcast episode a share on social media so that we can help more families start, build, and grow a membership of their own. We appreciate that so much. Thank you for listening today. And now on to the podcast.
Hey y'all, on today's Flip Lifestyle podcast, Shane helps Flip Your Life community member Ann Bird launch a business coaching membership for female CEOs. Ann is no stranger to success. She's been a successful consultant her entire career, helping female CEOs succeed in business. Now, through her website, MsChiefs.com, Ann is trying to scale her influence and reach into the online world. In this episode, you will learn why it's never too late to chase your dream, the exact order you need to work your business to launch your membership into the world, and how to stand out in a crowded niche with your unique message and style. And get this, Ann turns 60 this year. She's had a dream to own an online business and website for years. The coronavirus pandemic inspired her to look in the mirror and ask, if not now, when? That is why she joined the Flip Your Life community, and she is taking massive action. We know this episode will inspire you to take action on your online dreams too. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast, where life always comes before work. We're your hosts, Shane and Jocelyn Sams. We're a real family that figured out how to make our entire living online. And now we help other families do the same. Are you ready to flip your life? All right, let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Flip Lifestyle Podcast. It is great to be back with you again today. I am super excited to talk to another amazing, awesome member of the Flip Your Life community so that we can help them take their online dream to the next level. And I'm very excited to finally welcome Ann Bird to the program. Ann, how you doing?
So good. So happy to be here. Thank you very much for having me.
We have had a scheduling nightmare row here with this podcast.
It took some minutes. It's okay.
And when I say we, I mean it's all my fault. Like every single
we're
bit
all okay.
So I'm really glad to be talking to you today. Really glad to help you with your online business and everything that you've got going on. But let's get a little background information first. Tell us a little bit about you, your family, where you're from, and maybe your background in the offline world. What's brought you to this point right now?
Yeah. Well, my background in the offline world is long, because I'm old. I'm older than your average demographic. I will turn 60 next year. And I'm a multi-generational family now. So I've gone from being a single mom who, worked and raised a son to having a beautiful grown-up man-child who's 32. And now I have my parents with me. So, in the offline world, I have my own consulting company. It's a successful company by every measure. And in the world before COVID, I'm on the road probably 21 days a month. COVID has brought me home, and, the long-term play was to come home because my parents won't be okay without me forever. So I know I need another solution to get off the road and to kind of have an alternative way to earn a living. But that said, the real deal here is this is sort of a bucket list item for me. So I've done a number of things that were, on my quote unquote bucket list. But one of them has long been go all in on myself. Right. And if I don't do this now, I don't know when I should do it. When I'm turning 65, when I'm turning 75, I think this is the moment. Awesome. So I couldn't be more excited and kind of more advantaged in this kind of, global pandemic to be able to say, now's the time. I'm in.
I love the fact though that there's been two camps in all of this. Whenever something bad happens, right? Like we call that a catalyst. Like there's only two things that really drive people to success in entrepreneurship. And you know this because you have a consulting business, but it's like you're either running towards something, the bucket list item, or you're running away from something. But when things really get interesting is when you have the catalyst that you can run away from and the dream that you can run toward. That's when you're going to run the fastest, right? And we've seen a lot of people in the community who have said, this is a catalyst moment. This is something good. I can take advantage of this situation, not in a bad way, but I'm going to use this as motivation. And then there's a lot of people that are, woe is me. The universe conspires against my future, right?
Yeah.
And like that's the worst possible attitude you could ever have. So I love the fact that you're like, all right, universe, now or never. You called my bluff. Let's do it, right?
Yeah, because the universe knows that I have given GoDaddy a lot of my money, right? I have bought domain name after domain name after domain name, probably going back to kind of 2007, 2008. So I've had lots of ideas. I have file folders full of ideas, but I didn't really even have the naming convention for what I was looking for. You know, I'm busy joining memberships. I didn't know that that was the name of it, right? I'm busy joining all this stuff so I can sort of borrow best practices so I can go build my own thing. And then I listened to a podcast, Jody Moore's podcast, and she says she learns everything she knows from Shane and Jocelyn. And I'm driving the car. I'm like, wait, what? Who
is Shane and Jocelyn? Who are these people?
That's right. So we have a long and storied past. We go back to like June, right? And within, I think it was, the same hour, I got home, came online, logged into Flip Your Life, joined, and now I'm serious. And it keeps getting more and more serious because I keep listening. I've now listened to, I think, every podcast episode on all of your sites. And the dynamic of the business changes as I get more information from you guys. So I heard about Matt Flynn from you. I know everything.
You mean Pat Flynn?
Yes. I've never heard of him before.
I love it. That's our favorite thing. I'm going to text him afterwards and tell him.
Yeah.
Someone said they heard of Matt Flynn before.
Yeah.
I just interviewed Pat yesterday for a podcast.
Yeah. Well, great. I will look forward to hearing him. But I was on my little walk. I had to stop, pause, make a note on my phone,
Amazing. It's funny how the whole world is really connected. You know what I'm saying? Through all these different podcasts and things. How has your experience been in the Flip Your Life community so far? You've been really active. You've been on everything and done everything we've done since you've been in. And I love the stories of, I just joined, downloaded all the podcasts, went like all in. How's your experience been so far? It's
been great. And let me just also say, I don't know how I could have done it without it because there's too much to figure out. There's too much stuff to know. So I am going to have a Kajabi website by the end of the day today when it launches. I'm going to have the right podcast platform. All of the stuff I'm going to have is because you guys said, hey, this is the right stuff to have. And I'm really happy that you've sort of evolved over time, because if I had found you and listened to sort of episode 1 in order, I would have bought the thing you said to buy. And now it's a different thing.
Right. 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but I'm very happy to have the new thing. And, it has been an add water and stir. Even a couple of weeks ago, there was a $1 million membership mastermind, your mastermind podcast, where you interviewed a guy who was talking about building a brand. And I was like, oh my gosh, my thing's not just a thing, it's a brand.
Oh yeah, Jason Brown. That was Jason Brown.
Domain names. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be a brand.
So you can think of it as the umbrella at the beginning, and as you build it out, it just kind of like works out that way. You know what I'm saying?
I'm setting up DBAs,
And that's the whole. I just filled out. I just got a new EIN number for something this morning. that stuff never ends. But
never ends.
It's funny, like the reason we structured everything the way we do it. Like so many people go down the course rabbit hole because they just want to milk money out of everything they can, right? And the reason that the Flip Your Life community, one, is called the Flip Your Life community. I mean, we have a Flip Your Life blueprint, but it's inside the community, is exactly for what you just said. Like, one, we do something different every month. Like, we needed a mechanism where we could update trainings, where we could tell our members new things that I learned something from talking to Pat yesterday that I'm going to experiment with, right? If that pans out, I've got to tell the community about that. And also too, like the podcast is kind of the most public version of this. And you've probably experienced this in our Facebook groups and in the community, but like being able to bring these conversations into people's like awareness, like with my conversation with Jason Brown, And me and Jason, we're now masterminding together a little bit, trying to figure out what these brands look like. How do we expand past our own voice on our own podcast, right? Like, but those conversations that we have in the forums, in the community, like I'm always looking for new ways to add conversation to that's why I started the Membership Masters podcast. I needed to add that expert conversation, not just these conversations, so that people could pick up those nuggets so I could learn what other people are doing. And that's really the true power of an online membership is
and look, I am not there today, right? But what I was able, there in terms of having $1 million membership, although I will watch it happen. You heard it here first.
Mark it down.
That's right. Mark it down, write the date. But, what it does do, even though I'm not there today and I can't apply everything I heard, the things I can apply are so strategic that it changes my setup and I'll build it better, smarter, and faster for having a clearer vision of what it can become.
Yeah, I'll tell you another thing too, even that $1 million mastermind funnel that we're working on, the reason I do that twice a year is because I test in between and I change things. Like the second session when we do that mastermind, I'm introducing a concept that was not in it the last time I taught it. Right. Yeah. And I don't ever want to be pigeonholed into, well, this is my course and I sell my course, because that's not what it's all about. It's all about the evolution of the world. I mean, the whole world's evolving right now, right in front of us because of COVID. So we better be ready. What do you consult? What kind of consulting do you do?
I do. I'm sort of a company turnaround executive leadership kind of a coach. So
if someone's struggling or something, you come in and help them straighten up.
Yeah. Financial technology companies. I have a PhD in human development and an MBA and another master's degree. No underlying degree, though. You can just skip the bachelor's degree and go straight on to the big game. So, I've got all of that academic cred and all of that professional experience. But I coach a lot of people one-on-one. And I can't get my message. There are things that I know would be helpful to people, but I can't get that message out. This is the service component of this work. There's a, democratization component here, right? Democratizing coaching. We all knew that people who are coached do better. Yeah. But a whole lot of people can't afford coaching. And one-on-one coaching is even more expensive and not necessarily as effective. I get way more out of group coaching than I get out of one-on-one.
Oh, I hate one-on-one coaching. I hate one-on-one. We do it sometimes when people really need it, but I personally have went completely away from that. Like I want to be in a room with 10 people talking. That's how I learn,
They'll ask questions that are better than mine, or they'll ask the questions I'm afraid to ask. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I thought that too. I'm so glad they said it. And I get so much more out of that. So what we'll ultimately have inside of the first iteration of our offering will be coaching and development for executive women. And the company's name is Ms. Chiefs, MS Chiefs, like Chief Executive Officer, Chief Financial Officer, Chief Marketing Officer. Yeah. Because all these,
that's a great domain name too. It's short,
right? I'm excited about it. And then, we also will have at a future date, Ms. Chiefs Moms, Junior Chiefs, Ms. Chiefs Academic, because there's a huge population of people who need to figure out school now. And I'm talking about advanced school, right? I can't do K through 12, but I can do after that. So those are my people. And the plan is to provide as much help and support and encouragement to those people as I can. Because, even advanced people are still suffering from the same thing other people suffer from.
Oh my God. I just got a text.
Academically.
I just got a text from Jocelyn, and we're recording this on Zoom. If we talk over each other, it's okay. Yeah. So don't worry about it. Just jump in. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But like and I'm probably going to be the one talking over you. So let's just talk. We'll just talk and Hannah can fix it and it'll be okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hannah.
I just got a text from Jocelyn, and she said, man, it's very hard to juggle all of this. And, we're like the literal teachers of the thing. Like we've been in the game now almost a decade. We've taught thousands of people how to, and like our focus is the family focused entrepreneur. Like it's the work-life balance. It's whether you're raising small kids or you've become a caregiver for a parent, you've got all these other variables in your life that the single entrepreneur ignores, that the hustler and grinder has chosen to not prioritize. And like, that's not what it's all about. And like, literally was like, she's like, it's very hard to juggle all this because we've had a crazy morning like everybody else. We don't have anywhere. Our kids are not in school. And man, people need to know whatever level you're at, you don't have a handle on it.
Yeah.
You
and
can,
it's okay.
And it's okay.
You can be the C of something and have imposter syndrome. You can be the C of something and not have good self-esteem today. You know, I mean, this is happening in real time. And if those, in these jobs, you don't have anybody to talk to, right? Because nobody's doing what you do. They think you make a bunch of money and you have the perfect life. And you're like, oh my God, you have no idea how filled with terror I am today.
Exactly. 100% all the time. The roller, like, it's a roller coaster going up and down all the time. And like what you said there was interesting. And it's a shift that's happening faster now because of COVID. Back in when I was a kid, like, back in ye old 80s, like, you know what I'm saying? Like a CEO meant you ran Coke or Pepsi or IBM or something. But now with the democratization of these tools that we all have, everybody who owns an online business, like you are the freaking CEO, like, and you don't have that network of people to hang out with, and you got to build it. Right. Yeah. And like, it's amazing when you say something like that, like if you're the C of something, you're probably freaking out right now because we are. And like, you don't ever want to like, I don't want to make people think that you should just be falling apart all the time. Like sometimes you got to suck it up and be like, yo, I got this, even though I don't got this.
I'll figure it out. I'm smart enough to know I can figure it out. Yeah.
Yes.
But man, if somebody's going to give me the directions, how much can I write the check for that today?
100%.
You're going to tell me how to do it. You're going to send me a thing every month that tells me what to do every single day for next month to promote my business. Yes, please.
Deal.
Like, why do I need to figure that out?
That's the Membership Masters newsletter you're talking about,
which
right
I
there,
also
by the way.
get. Yes, it is.
There you go.
and I'm so happy to see, your kid's seal come on my envelope. Right. That made me very happy.
That was all Jocelyn, by the way. Jocelyn came up with that. She comes up one day and goes, watch this. And she pulls out these silver stickers and she has an embosser. I didn't even know what an embosser was. And it's like a raised stamp. And she goes, boom. I saw that and I just started clapping. As a slow clap.
It makes your heart so happy. If the product wasn't already great, which it is, right? Just the idea that something from somebody's kids comes to your mailbox.
Right.
I mean, oh my God, it's such goodness.
I have we print those in house too. We were using a printer. We have this whole room this is our old house and we use it as a headquarters. And that whole room is a conference table, supplies, a printer. The kids love it. I think it's amazing.
Well, I'm like, oh my gosh, you can call like the Office Depot and rent a big printer. Right?
Sure you can.
Learn
$300 that printer, $300 a month, and that printer staples and hole punches that thing I send to you.
Yes, right? I love it.
So then all we have to do then. Now the problem, I'll tell you the hardest part about that. We're just totally off on a tangent, folks, but we'll get back around to it.
Yeah.
The hardest part about that whole process, which talk about a figure it out moment, was actually the packaging, because we tried 1 month. If you go like just like the not hard packaging, like a envelope.
Yeah.
You can ship them really cheap and you can get them to where they need to go, but they get bent up and they get stamped on and whatever. Yeah. So we decided, hey, we need to put this in a hard envelope. Now, the problem is that's packaging. So what happens is if I send it to you, where are you at? I forgot where you were.
Ashland, Virginia.
You're in Ashland,
Center
Virginia.
of the universe.
That's right. So it's going to cost less. It's going to cost me less to mail it to you than it is to me, like Christy, another member of the community, Christy, over in Seattle or in Nikki Roush up in Washington, right? Like, so like that's going to be a lot cheaper. So like, one's going to be expensive. Now, the problem we had was figuring out how to get that shipped efficiently instead of standing at the post office and waiting 45 minutes for them to do every one individually. Because once you scale to 1,000 people, you got a problem, right? You can't do that. And we actually
and this is where education fails us, right?
Yeah, you don't know how to look. Nobody knows this stuff.
Nobody knows this, but y'all are going to tell me, and I don't have to figure it out because y'all already figured it out.
That's exactly right. So we went through this. This took 8 months to figure out, by the way. You all getting 8 months. You want to do a paper newsletter? Here's 8 months of information.
Took me less than 20 minutes. It was one podcast episode. I was listening to it on double speed.
Boom. Pirateship.com. That was our solution, was pirateship.com. We figured out we could upload the CSV. They would give us all the labels with the correct shipping. All the kids have to do is slap the label on top of that hard package. Yeah. And I tell you, that revolutionized the whole process. I mean, it was like last month was the first month we had it right. And I think we packed, shipped, and printed in like 3 hours. And what's cool is my kids, like Isaac earned his way to doing this over the last few months. He's been dying to get a gaming PC so he can edit YouTube videos and Twitch stream.
Yeah.
He got it last week. He's pumped. He's playing it right now. He's working on it. He was messing around in the C panel today trying to install a game. I'm like, there you go. Unfair advantage.
There you go. Town. Yes.
All right. So what has held you back so far? Because you're a go-getter and like you crushed it. You're crushing it. Like, what's like the biggest fear, obstacle, mindset struggle that's really kept you from taking action on these domain names until this point?
Honestly,
like, what was it?
I couldn't figure out how to. I mean, there's a lot to figure out, and it's intimidating. It's in its entirety, right? And a lot of places, a lot of people tell you that figuring it out is the process, right? That you just need to figure it out. If we told you what to do, you wouldn't have the benefit of figuring it out. Well, really, I mean, that's why there are recipe books. So I can make something I don't know how to make. When I encountered you guys, it was the first time I found the recipe book. So, cool. I've been messing around at some level because, I have a job, I have a family, I have other stuff I need to do. And figuring stuff out takes a really, really, really long time. So all of a sudden I figured out there's somebody who's going to tell me how to do it. Great. I'm just going to go do what they say. I'm going to do everything they say. I'm going to do the way they say, and they're constantly getting better. So for me, the real accelerant in the past 60 days was finding you guys. And I would probably still be where I was in May before I found y'all in June.
That's a common fear. Listen, especially when we start new stuff, like obstacle. I mean, it's not really a fear. It's more like you're so overwhelmed by all the move. It's like if you looked at a watch with the cover off and you see what actually makes that hand move. And you're like, I could probably build that if I knew how to build it, right? And I'll tell you, here's something that I've learned, especially in the online world. I don't know why this is like a little hack in the online world. So like, let's say you get to something that we don't cover or that something is hard to figure out online. Most of the time, if we work backwards, that's how we figure everything out. Like that's how the Flip Your Life Blueprint's laid out. Like we go, like our philosophy is product first. A lot of people tell you to build an audience first. I know a lot of people with huge audiences that aren't making a penny. Right. Yeah. And so we started with like, well, wait a minute. We want to sell something. Like we want money. Okay. First of all, we want money in our bank account. That's what we want first.
That's right. Yeah.
So what would we have to do? Well, we would have to sell a product. So that's okay. Well, how would we sell the product? Well, we would need a way to take money. Okay. So let's sign up for PayPal and Stripe. Okay. What do we do next? Well, we're probably going to need an order form. How do we get them to the order form? Well, there's an options page. What about the options page? Well, there's a sales page. How do they get to the sales page? Well, I guess we need to create some content. So we work backwards. Anytime I encounter a new problem in the online world, working backwards almost automatically fixes the overwhelm, right?
Yeah.
Because even if I don't get the immediate gratification of, I've got a follower on Facebook or if I just work backwards, I know that when it's all done, I'm going to go, oh, that was cool. Look at that. Yeah. I've got a working system now. And that's something that has served us so well. Like when I want to do a campaign, like I'm doing right now, an email campaign for a 60-day trial, this is way after this when you hear this, y'all. So don't be looking for the 60-day trial. You missed it. You should have been on the email list, flipballstyle.com. But when I wrote it, I worked backwards from the date. What does the date this email need to be? What does this email need to be? And when I got to the day I was writing the emails, it just flowed because I didn't have to think, well, if I start here, how am I going to, destination. I began there. So that's just an easy hack. Like anytime you encounter something like this, like for example, you got it easy because you're using Kajabi and you're going through my funnel. So you're going to be able to build it just like me. Like I think I dropped the video for the other day to show you how to do the upsell?
Yeah, because Kajabi said they couldn't do it. And you were like, that's totally
wrong. I know more about Kajabi than the people that work at Kajabi. I'm actually helping their product development team now test their order checkout process. Yeah. I weaseled my way in.
Yeah, there's a chance I probably said the wrong words, right? Like I might not have the right vocabulary to ask the perfect question, but then I was able to ask you because I'm like, dude, I can't do this. It says I can't. And you were like, BS. Yes, you can.
I've got it done. It's right here. Like, and you got to find like we always say like, how can we do it? Not we can't do it. Like we all, that's the end of every question is like, I can't do that. No, how can we do it? So sometimes you do have to duct tape it together. Like for example, there's a limitation in Kajabi as of this recording on the upsell process. You can only upsell one product, but what you do get to do is you do get a HTML copy space to write copy, like a sales letter under the upsell thing. I wanted to sell the annual and the quarterly as an upsell.
Yep.
Now, the quarterly is my main mission. So that's the button. The button gets the main mission. What's the one objective? But in the sales copy, I just did a link to another order page. So, and we get people that choose that option all the time. It's like, hey, this is the quarterly. Click the button, you'll have it. But if you want to go ahead and save 50% on the year, click this link. So now I just found a way to do what I wanted. Is it perfect? No, but it ain't got to be perfect. It's just got to work, right?
Yeah.
And every time one of those $500 things comes in or whatever, I'm like, whatever, here we go. That's amazing, right? Someone figured it out, and you just got to figure it out. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. And so we're pre-launching today at 4, and then we go live in 15 days, 10 days. And, we better have our ducks in a row.
That's right. Do you have a list or anything yet?
I have a list, but it's a small list. It's less than 300 people, personal email kind of people.
Hey, what if 300 people were in that room with you right now?
I would weep.
You would weep. You'd be squished. You'd be squished. So that's an amazing list. Our first list was less than 300, and we made.
And people have asked
plenty
me
of money.
For stuff that wasn't in the original plan. Like, one of my guy friends said, oh my gosh, he's like, how do I buy that for my sister? And I'm like, we need a gift program.
Shoot, yeah, you do.
We need a scholarship program. How do we get this stuff going?
Joss, we used to do that, and you can sell that on here's another thing you can do too, is you can set that up as an affiliate, and they buy it for the year, and then you give that person $50, and that other person gets the membership with their email. Now, that gift thing is probably non-renewable, so you need a follow-up email to make that person sign back up again.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to charge that other guy again for the gift, right?
Yep.
And then, so you just have some automation set up right there. Boom. And then that person's now going to tell not just his sister, but his cousin and his aunt and his friend and his whatever. And, he's like, dang, I made $50. I took my wife out to dinner. That's amazing. I'm going to go do that again.
And what a nice thing for somebody to get for somebody.
Exactly. It's amazing.
I love that.
It's incredible. So all right. So let's talk about then, we've overcome this obstacle because you figured out the plan. And that's usually, always pay for help, guys. It just works better. But what else is the struggle in your business right now? Like what do you think is the next thing that you've got to work on? Like where are you guys stuck now?
I got to kind of get over myself. Yeah. I got to kind of get over myself on the content. Right. So, I don't love how I look on video, how polished does the presentation have to be? Like I have 110% confidence in the message, right? In the actual message itself. I got to get some confidence in the delivery system, and feeling that it's professional enough, that it represents us well enough while we're still figuring out before we can afford video crews and professional camera people and, things like that.
Well, I'll tell you 2 stories that'll help you with this. Okay. Yours is different, I think, because, it depends who you want, right? That's the first probably thing you need to look at is your avatar and say, well, who do we want? Like, we really want I want this podcast to be casual. I want the community to be casual. I wear t-shirts on my YouTube channel. Whatever. Do you want that kind of CEO? Like, the put together mom who's running the business right at home, and she dresses up when she goes to a meeting or a conference or whatever, but maybe at home she's a little more casual, not all the way down to, yoga pants, but like right now you're wearing a collared shirt, just kind of, you put together, So you have to decide the vibe, right? You get to decide the vibe, not your customer. You get to decide who you want to attract. I remember when we first started Flip Lifestyle, we had a conversation about our accents, and we were like, and we started saying, man, we're from Kentucky. People are going to judge us. But then I read this amazing quote. I don't remember where I got it, but I've said it so much I stole it. And I actually kick off all my webinars with, hey, listen, we say y'all, you might get a yeehaw, but if you confuse my intellect for my dialect, you're in trouble. You're going to miss something that could probably flip your life. And that to me was us embracing our accent, right?
Yep.
Like, it's not about how we talk, it's about what we say. And that helped me overcome all my fears of what people were going to think about me on stage, on a microphone, on a podcast, on a YouTube channel, right? So deciding who you want. I want the Southern, Midwestern, God bless y'all if you're on a coast, but don't judge me because I ain't surfing. If you're salt of the earth, that's who we want in our community. So you get to pick that, okay?
Yeah.
The second thing is this. If I've used this analogy before on the podcast. If you're in the middle of Death Valley, you're driving through the desert, right? And you're driving a nice car, dressed up. You really respect people who wear suits, whatever. And you get a flat tire, and you don't know how to change a flat tire, or maybe you don't want your fancy suit to get oil on it, right? Someone pulls up and they look like a bum. They're wearing t-shirts, ball pants, flip flops, and they're like, "Hey man, I can change that tire for you in 5 minutes. I'll do it for free." You ain't gonna say like, "No. You look terrible."
Praise Jesus, and here's $100. Thank you so much for your time.
Exactly. They have the solution to your problem. And that's what 80%, 90% of people will do. I actually think an unfair advantage in most niche markets when you're business coaching is a little more casual approach, because everybody's trying the fake Instagram look, and people are intimidated by that, and they're scared by that. And maybe some people are drawn to that, and that's okay if that's your vibe. I agree. That's fine. That's cool. But your vibe will draw your people no matter what you pick. So don't worry about it. Now let's circle back around to two things that do matter. Okay. Number one, sound matters. Microphones matter. That's the most important thing you can get right first, is really high quality sound. Does that mean you got to go spend $800 on a Heil microphone? No, a good $100 Audio Technica with a Scarlett 2i2, what's that thing called? The thing you plug the XLR wire into. It's a little red box that says Scarlett 2i2. You can't miss it. It's like what is that thing called? I don't know, a switch or something like that. That kind of mixer. That's what it is. You can control the volume. See, I don't even know what it is. I've been talking into it for 10 years. You can turn it up and down and control the background noise, basically the gain, right?
Got it.
So sound will make the biggest difference in all of your production values. The next thing is lighting. Like if you'll notice on this video right now, so behind me, so I've got in front of me, my face is lit. I've got a Ring camera, right? You can probably see it my eyeballs, see that little light. Yeah. So I got a light shining right at my face. Costs $29 on Amazon. It clips to the back of my desk, hangs up over the computer, $30, right?
Yep.
Now I've got a light coming down from the top. Like, check this out. If you're watching this on YouTube, guys, fliplifestyle.com/YouTube, you can see all this lighting. All right, so I'm going to turn this off. All right, so I can do this neat effect where I can darken the background a little bit too, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
I've got 200-watt light bulbs in my actual room above me. And the reason I did that is because I want to wash out shadows from above. Yeah. So like see the shadows behind me now when I turn this back on. I think one of the bulbs might be out, but you can see it just washes everything down. Yeah. There's no shadows behind me. The only shadow is my hat. Right. Yep. So lighting from above is really important, but I've found if you got an overhead light, 200-watt bulbs work great. Okay. And then, but the background noise is trickier is trickier with your lighting on your courses. So the LED, you got to go with like really low wattage, like this lamp behind me right here. See how it's not like washing out my hand even when I reach toward it?
Yep.
Those are like 20-watt bulbs in that thing. And I got that on Amazon for $10, that lamp, right? Yep. And now this thing, the Kentucky sign behind me, I used really low watt LED lights, and they're behind the thing. So they don't, if those were in front, they would probably have it would shine too much. But it's behind. See how it like outlines the Kentucky thing I've got.
Yeah. On the wall. It's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I had that custom made, a couple $100. And but all the guy did was that LED tape lighting, and he just taped around the back of it. Right.
Yep.
So you got to have really low light behind you. You got to have like pop and light above you. Like you really need to wash those shadows down. And if you turn them off, you create a really cool mood. Like if I'm doing something at night, sometimes I'll turn it off,
Yeah.
and then something in front of you, right in your face, right above the camera or around it. I actually put mine above it a little bit because when it's in it, I can't look at the screen. Right. So I keep it just above it, and it creates a little shadow, but I think it's kind of natural too. But it washes out your face, and it just makes it look so much better. So if you can just spend $100 or $200, if you can spend $300 or so on good lighting, think about the lighting behind you, get the audio right, you're going to look fantastic. I mean, people aren't even going to understand how you did it. You know what I'm saying? And that is enough. Now let the lessons shine. Let the expertise shine. Let the coaching shine. And don't even worry about big film crews and everything like that. You know?
Yeah.
Now, if you wanted to go straight for, I'm looking for C-suite people who are getting paid 7 figures, you're probably going to have to go high end. Like that's like my buddy, he's a Wall Street investor, and he works at a base down on Wall Street, literally, like the richest zip code in America. He's like, yeah, man, if I walk into a room with anything less than a $5,000 suit, I'm getting laughed at. I can't negotiate. I can't talk. I can't sell in that environment. Like I have to buy. He has a tailor, $3,000 or $4,000 every time he buys a suit. Like, and he's got to have them, right? That's the avatar. The avatar dictates the look of your content, and what they want is more important than even what you think or feel. Basically.
Yeah, got it. My people are not, my target audience is not 7-figure people. They're certainly 6-figure people.
Which are usually more casual than you think.
I'm more casual. I'm much more casual, and I think and authentic. And quite frankly, that's always worked for me professionally. And I think that I'm hoping anyway, the real differentiator is that, we've been there. We're board members, we're C-level people. We've been C-level people for a really long time. We know what it's like. We know what really happens in the room and outside of the room. We know what it's like to be late to pick up your kids, to feel guilt about not being dialed into a meeting because you've got to get to this baseball game. Y'all have lived this dream. There's so much complexity in life, and so much of it ends up in an emotional ball of mess in your gut.
Yeah. I think a good promise too, that like, I'd love to see you make, and I don't know how to word this. I think this is something you'll probably have to wrestle with. Like, the biggest problem that we have, because I think we're kind of exactly what your demographic kind of is. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And like, it's like what to say no to and not feel bad about it. Like last night I had a couple buddies from college who they're still trapped in that college mindset, and they're ribbing each other, and you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's kind of destructive. It's like, there's a story, the story goes, and if you put 5 lobsters in a pot, all of the lobsters could climb out. But if you ever watch that actually happen, when a lobster gets to the top, another lobster will grab him and pull him back in. Like, they can't let one of them succeed. It's either they do it or no, they'll kill everybody. Right.
Yeah.
And like, it's kind of that mentality with that bunch and old dude, they're just still living in the past, and, and they were tagging me in this thing, kind of giving me crap, but it was kind of like malicious a little bit. And a lot that since we've succeeded, we've had a lot of people almost turn on us in a way like that. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Like they can't be happy for you.
Well, it's interesting because women are frequently like that in the workplace as well. And we've got a strong feminist movement that kind of academically exclusively studies women, but I don't know a single professional woman who has succeeded without the help and support of men in her professional community. And so, part of what we're hoping to evolve in this community is for kind people. The motto is kindness wins. And we are going to be nice to people, and we're going to take care of people emotionally, and we're going to make it okay. We're going to teach you how to manage emotional stuff, but we're going to be okay in the end.
And see, I got the messages last night, and man, I just felt this wash of negativity, and I'm like, man, that was funny back when we were probably 18 or 19, but that's not funny now. That kind of crap. And and I just said no. Didn't block them, didn't hide them, didn't anything. I said, I'm going to choose to say no to that. And I to shut it off, went and built a sales page for ushistoryteachers.com. And that's what I would love for your thing to be, is like, if you could teach people what to say, how to say no to things, and not just how to do it. Like, I think a lot of books are written about saying no and things, but like, how do you internalize that boundary and not feel guilty about it? Like, that would be an amazing service that you could provide for these people, because that's the hardest thing to know. Like, what do you say no to? Like, also, like, when do you say no to your kids? I say no to not just saying no, like, because I'm a good parent or whatever, but like, there's boundary issues we've got to deal with our children. That there's an author named Jordan Peterson. I don't know if you've ever heard of him before. And one of his rules is in his book is don't let your children do anything that you hate or something like that. Right. Like if you, or that drives you crazy or something like that. Like you've got to put the boundary up. Right. So
if you're embarrassed about that, stand that down.
That's right. Because CEOs, we have our businesses under control. I always feel like I've got my community under control. I always feel like, for the most part, I'm learning how to be a better boss and leader. Yeah. Right. But like that's where we really struggle, is the personal stuff. Where's the lines? Where does it blur? Where do you feel guilty? Where do you not feel guilty? You know what I mean?
I'm having dinner with my son and daughter-in-law tonight, and I already today had to turn down a meeting request because it's on top of my weekly dinner with my kids. I'm going to dinner, find another time for the meeting.
I have gotten hardcore into block time lately. Like Thursday, we're talking on a Thursday, and I just told my team this morning, we had it when we first started the team back in May, we have team meetings on Monday. So my goal there is to meet for 2 hours and unleash 200 hours into the workforce. That's my mission every week. Right. And then but we were doing a team check-in on Thursday to see if we were stuck. Right. To finish things up by Friday. And I just realized even today, I was like, I can't do this meeting. This is on my podcast day, and it's really disruptive because the first thing I do in the morning is that meeting. Now I've got things that I need to take care of, and I'm bringing that baggage into podcasts. Right. Which I can turn it off and on, but like still, like I'm like, no, we're going to have to move this meeting. Or this, actually, I even changed it. We use Monday.com, and I said, from now on, new company policy, set your alarms for 3 p.m. All stuck things happen in Monday.com. We do not meet about stuck things. We meet about wins and what we learn, and we meet about planning, but we do not meet about stuck. We get unstuck in Monday.com. If a one-on-one meeting is necessary, we will schedule it. Right.
Well, and part of what I valued so much about what y'all do is that you guys are, so far ahead of me that your lessons, you've learned, you've tried stuff, and some of it worked and some of it didn't, and you've changed stuff and some of that worked and some of it didn't. And it's like the fast path, right? I don't have to travel the same path. I can be the accelerated path. And I'm like, well, we know that doesn't work. Try this.
It's like the first person climbs a mountain that was really hard, but then over the next year, they build steps.
Yes.
You still get the same view. Come on, people. It's the same view at the top.
Yeah.
So I think honestly, hearing you say that about the content, like in the next 24 hours or so, like when you get off this call, like I think you solved that problem by just, hey, I'm going to order a really nice light O-ring light. I'm going to order a Scarlett 2i2. I'm going to get a good microphone, XLR, not USB. Don't get a USB microphone. Sometimes they have both holes. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Okay,
but the XLR have better sound. It doesn't matter what brand. Audio Technica is the best. We like it. It's cheap, inexpensive. It does the job really well. Right.
Yeah.
I've been talking into this thing for years, and I love it when I'll get on a podcast with some influencer and they'll be like, man, you sound great. What are you using? And I tell them, and I'm like, yeah, I got this $50 microphone. And I can see their eyes. They're looking down at their $600 giant microphone. And I'm like, boy, you just gotta hook it up right. That's all you got to do. But if you did that, like that, just, hey, feel good about it. That solves the problem,
Oh, it's what I'm doing as soon as we hang up the phone. That exactly solves the problem. Because I've got 5 podcasts in the can, and the audio is crap on all of them. And the minute you said the audio matters, I was like, I'm doing it over.
Well, like even right now, like the camera you're using is really clear, but if you just had a light behind your camera, the O-ring, or the O-rings are neat because are you using a webcam or is it your computer?
It's my computer.
Okay.
I have a webcam.
Yeah, well, you can set a webcam up a little bit high, a tad higher, or you can use it here. But the O-rings will bend, and the camera actually can look right through the O in it. So the ring that's why the lighting is so even all the way around me. That's why my shirt is glowing right now.
Yeah.
So you use the O-ring lights are really, really good, and you just have to find the one that is affordable. I mean, they cost 30 to. I mean, you can get them for $300. The really bright ones. But I don't think you need that. You just need normal lighting. But if you had lighting in front of you and a microphone exactly like I was using right now, you would feel so confident about the way you looked and sounded. It would knock it out. I also like Zoom too because it's got this little button. You can click it and it's called like fix your appearance. So it kind of like smooths out my gray and my wrinkles a little bit. makes me look a couple years younger. That's why I use it for podcasting and YouTube channels.
God.
It's awesome stuff.
That's awesome.
Well, listen, this was an awesome conversation. I am so happy that you found us, and because I am really honored and privileged and thankful that you are in our community. You've been I love action takers. I love people who are just like, I'm doing this, because that's how me and Jocelyn roll. And I cannot wait. I have no doubt this is going to be an amazing success story. And the next time you come on this podcast, we're going to be celebrating some amazing victory. And I think you're going to knock it out.
Paying me $100 a month, Shane. That's where we're going.
That's where we're going.
1,000 people paid me $100
hey, listen,
a month.
1,000 paying you 85 is $1 million a year. So you're just going to take care of the taxes and keep the rest, and it's all good.
Yes.
Awesome stuff. Well, listen, Ann, thank you so much for being on the show today. Thank you for being transparent with your fears, your struggles. And I know that what we talked about today is going to help a lot of people, and I cannot wait to see what you do next.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right, guys, that wraps up my interview with Ann Bird. What an amazing action taker she is inside of the Flip Your Life community. I mean, as soon as she knew she had the answer to move closer to her dream, she didn't wait. She downloaded all the podcasts. She jumped into the Flip Your Life community, and she started taking action, and now she is getting ready to launch her business. It's only been about a month and a half, 2 months since she's been in the community, but she's ready to rock. She's ready to take it to the next level, and she's ready to go build that membership of her own. She's got a goal to build $1 million membership. She's going to get 1,000 people to pay her $100 a month. That's going to be an amazing sight to see. We would love to help you build your membership site, your online business, your dream for your family as well inside of the Flip Your Life community. We'd love for you to come in and join me, Jocelyn, our team, and all of the other amazing members of the Flip Your Life community in our community forums, where we have chats like this every single day. We also have 2 member calls a month where we answer your online business questions to help you take your next steps, to help you move forward closer to the dream you have for your family. Plus, we have the Flip Your Life Blueprint. Like Ann said, that's the step-by-step plan. That's the hold you by the hand staircase up the mountaintop that we have created through years of trial and error to help you succeed as fast as possible. All you have to do is log in, start at the top, and work one course at a time. Before you know it, you're going to have an online business of your own. We would love to have you on our next member call in the forums, and we'd love for you to start the Flip Your Life Blueprint process today. All you have to do is go to flippedlifestyle.com/free. That's FLIPPED lifestyle.com/FREE. flippedlifestyle.com/free. And you can start a 30-day trial to the Flip Your Life community today. You're going to get all of our courses. We hold nothing back. Instant access to everything we have ever created. You're going to get 2 member calls where we're going to be answering your questions. And you're going to have direct access to the Flip Your Life community forums, where you can hang out and mastermind with other family-focused entrepreneurs from around the world. That's flippedlifestyle.com/free. We'll see you inside. All right, guys, that is all the time that we have for this week. But before we close the show, we love to end every episode of the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast with a verse from the Bible. Jocelyn and I get a lot of our inspiration and motivation from the Bible. You would not believe how much stuff there is in there about business, and you know there's a lot of stuff about life and balance and everything that Ann and I talked about today. And I thought this would be a great verse for us to share at the end of this podcast. Matthew chapter 7, verse 7. Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find it. Knock, and it will be opened to you. That's an amazing Bible verse, guys, because it is exactly how the coaching relationship works. It's exactly what we do here at Flip Lifestyle. It's exactly what Ann had been looking for years, and she found inside of the Flip Your Life community. You do not have to do this alone. You do not have to suffer through the overwhelm. You do not have to figure everything out and reinvent the wheel. Come on in the community. Ask us and we will help you. Seek it inside of our community, in the forums, in our courses, and you will find it. All you got to do is knock. We are here for you. We will help you. We will go out and we will do anything we can to help you change your family's future. All right, guys, that is all the time we have for this week. Until next time, get out there, take action. Don't just listen to the show. You got to go out and take action, and you got to do whatever it takes to flip your life. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Scene. Okay, later. One more thing before we go. Thank you so much for listening to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. If you love the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast, if we bring a little joy and a little happiness and we bring some knowledge into your life every single week, could you do us a favor? Go to Apple Podcast and hit subscribe. Download a few of the podcast episodes onto your phone. Apple's algorithm loves seeing downloads and it loves seeing those subscribes. And please leave us an honest review over on Apple Podcast. That'll help us grow the show, expand the mission, and reach more people so that we can help them change their family's future as well. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.